Okay,
Okay. So we are live now.
we are
Yep.
live. Play some music.
Okay. So we are live now.
Yes.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to our live Q&A. I'm Hiba, and I'm sitting for Ted's place here today. He couldn't be here with us, so he will join us for the next live. And I'm so excited. I'm happy, especially because we're gonna talk about one of my favorite topics personally, and I do believe that it's the same for every woman. So, especially the travelers. Um, of course, if we're talking about each woman's favorite topic, we can't deny shopping. So, and it's not only shopping, but it's shopping in Morocco. So, I'm so happy today. We are going to discuss and tackle this topic because recently we've received thousands and thousands of questions related to that topic, whether from seasonal travelers or travelers who are seeking to visit Morocco for their first time. So it's quite normal to that they have wrong ideas, questions, and if we could say fears about that topic, but never mind, we are here today to answer your questions, to give you tips that will help you and assist you in all the aspects, and especially if in terms of mastering the art of bargaining and choosing the right goods in terms of quality, quantity, and prices. So I'm so happy again to be with you guys. And before we start, welcome Zidane, welcome Sam
Thank you.
again.
Thank you.
So I would like to start our questions by one of uh, one of the most popular one, which is um, what are some of the must-buy items when it comes to shopping in Morocco? In other words, what are the souvenirs that, for example, whenever a traveler buy with him or her, will automatically remember and remind his journey in Morocco. So I'm gonna start with you, Azadine, if you could, please.
Oh, definitely. Thank you, Hiba. Shopping is it is extremely important in Morocco. It helps the economy for sure, but also you want to do it the right way, and you don't want to be taken advantage of. So the must-buy items when shopping in Morocco really varies from traveler to traveler. Some people they want some leather goods, some they want some ceramics, some they want some olive oil, argan oil, so cosmetics, organic. So it really, really depends. So if we're talking about shopping, um, the major places, every city is different than the next. Marrakesh is different than Essaouira. Essaouira is different than Rabat, for example, then Chefchaouen, then Fas, then Ouarzazate, then Ait Ben Hattou, then Merzouga. Then those shops that you see along the way from city to city or village to village in the mountains. So, but the major one we're talking about, in my opinion, are always the most popular, which is rugs and again we'll discuss rugs in next few questions as well. So rugs, it's one of the must-have in Morocco, um, And the best place to buy them, it can really depends. You can say, some will say Fas, but in our experience, we'll say Eid bin Haddu, because of the authenticity, and also because of the quality, and also the price. When we talk about ceramics, for example, hands down again, Fas is the best place. When we're talking about, wood craftsmanship, Essaouira stands out, and they have the best rates and prices. And then when we talk about Marrakesh, it's kind of, they get their stuff as well from Essaouira, they get their stuff as well from Fas and from Eid bin Haddu. So it really depends. If you are in that region, these are the places to go for certain item to buy. If you're in Chefchaouen, for example, they have some really incredible jalabas, and they have different clothing items that it's really different than the rest of Morocco. When you go to the south, it's the same thing, the Berber, jalaba, and so forth and so forth. So when it comes to small souvenirs, those really, they depend, and they vary from city to city. Some things you'll find that, they're just for Chefchaouen, some just for Fas, some they represent Marrakesh, some they represent Casablanca, and so forth. And those, in terms of price, they're, maybe $2, $5, $10. So that's the best way to do it.
All right. Thank you so much, Azedine, for sharing that. So what you mean is that travelers have multiple choices to choose for. So that's really good. Okay, so we're going to see Sam's insights, if you could please.
Yeah, thank you, Eva. Thank you for Azedine. What I want to add, I think I still mentioned a lot of the must-buy items and products in Morocco for tourists or for travelers. So I want to add, for example, in Marrakesh, you can buy, for example, the poofs, the leather poofs, or semi-leather poofs. You can buy, for example, in Essaouira, you mentioned tuya wood. You can buy, for example, jewelries, especially silver. We will talk about it in another question. We'll emphasize on it. And then, for example, you can buy for example, the leather jackets or leather bags, for example, in Fez, which is the best quality. We're talking about leathers in Morocco. Rugs, you mentioned it for sure, and we will emphasize on this later. For example, there is pillows from leather and other stuffs, sleepers, for example, in Marrakesh and in Essaouira especially. So there is hundreds and hundreds of items that you can buy. You can take as souvenirs from Morocco.
Oh wow, that's amazing. But here is the thing: we have another perspective here, which is a female, a female point of view. So, in my opinion, as a woman, Morocco is known for its natural and organic, as well as rich beauty products. So, if we're talking about beauty products, we can't deny argan oil, which is known all over the globe. So, for its endless benefits, either in when it comes to skincare or culinary benefits. Also, like Alfasi, there is like Alfasi. When there is a trend known, which called I think the Moroccan traditional lipstick that refers to like Alfasi. It's amazing. It's a small thing that should be with every woman that comes to Morocco and wants, for example, to buy a souvenir with. So it's amazing. That's it. So we're going to the next question. Our next question is going to be about um, how can we distinguish between the authentic Moroccan rugs and the fake ones? How can we do that? And I'm going with you, Sam, please.
Oh, thank you very much. This is a very good question, Hiba, especially when it comes to rugs, carpets in Morocco. So we can distinguish between three main categories when we're talking about rugs. There is the best one is a Beni Warin carpet, which is very famous. in Morocco. It's produced in the Middle Atlas Mountains, especially from the tribes called Bni Waran or Bni Warin. It's the same word, and it's sold all over Morocco. As Aztin mentioned, the best place to buy it is the southern part of Morocco, especially a woman co-op in Eit Ben Haddo, and we mentioned it in one of our podcast episodes. There is the second one. There is Akhnif Kilim. The kilim, especially, it's the best quality in southern part of Morocco as well. It's produced in Taznacht, the southeast of Morocco, and it's mostly the best quality. The best use is for runners when you have like a corridor in your house or just maybe in your salon or something like that. Then there is another quality which is called we mentioned the Brubaran, Kilim Akhnif, and the cactus rugs, which is 100% natural. It's produced with natural products, especially, for example, it's the wool, but tinted with cactus and other, for example, saffron and grenade, and they use especially organic products like that. When you take it home and for example, when you want to wash it, it keeps the same colors, and the colors that mix with each other. This is how you can distinguish between the best quality. And this one is produced in the southern part of Morocco as well as the Middle Atlas Mountains.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
That's amazing. That's a valuable contribution. Yeah.
Okay.
But in my opinion, I think, okay, as it didn't go ahead.
Yes, sorry. I want to add something to what Sam. This is really, really incredible information. And also what makes a rug more expensive than another rug is the knots. So there are rugs they have 40 knots, some rugs they have 100 knots, maybe 200 or more. The more knots the rug has, the more expensive it is, and the more tight it is. And also we did a podcast episode with Muhammad during the summer when we saw how they mix the colors, all the colors, and he talked specifically about blue indigo. Everything is natural, so it does not stain afterwards. It does not shade, it does not lose its color brightness, and that's how you can tell between a rug that it's fake and one that it's not fake. But unfortunately, it may take you some time to figure that out. The other thing is when you buy a rug, make sure you put your name on it. You sign it in the back. There's a ticket in the back. Make sure you sign your name on it. It's your signature. Nobody can forge your signature. So that way, when you get it and it's shipped to you, if you cannot take it with you, then you know it's the same rug. Take a picture as well, just to be on the safe side. This is a really, really, really good topic. A lot of good information, Sam. Thank you so much for that. Thank you.
I want to add something. Thank you. I want to add something. For example, talking about rugs, many people, for example, they heard about vintage rugs. Unfortunately, I can't give you, for example, any information about vintage rugs. Why? Because many people, they sold new rugs and they put it on the sun, on the terraces in the old Medina, for example, for months, and then they sold it as a vintage rug. Vintage rug, for example, if you go to the women co-op in Eit Ben Haddo, they will sell you a vintage rug, real one, but it's very, very rare to find one which is called a vintage rug or vintage carpet.
Thank you for your input, Simon Izzadin. I just want to add just a little bit on what you just said. Well, I think it's better to be accompanied with someone, especially if he or she is a tour leader. Like that, you want, for example, you won't be, I mean, you won't face scams, so on and so forth. And you ask questions, as you said, for example, from where the rug comes from, the tribe. So also we can ask about the components or the fabric as well, so on and so forth. In fact, that's amazing. Moving on to our following question.
I want to add something else, please, Eva. I'm so sorry.
Yes.
Really, really, really good point, Hiba. This is, and again, when you book your tour with us, you have access to us 24 hours. That's our support. Um, then when you want a tour leader to be with you, that's the benefit of a tour leader. So if somebody's trying to take advantage of you, they'll let you know. They say, hey, this is too much, and the price, you cannot imagine the difference in price between Fas and Eid al-Hiddu. It's pretty
It's very
huge. It's
huge.
pretty big. Yeah, we did the episode in Eid al-Hiddu with Sarah. She was amazing. And those women, they are elderly women. They are, single parents. They support themselves. They support their kids, their families, and basically they come to the co-op and they make rugs. For the ones that live far away, they make the rugs at their house, then they bring it to the co-op and they sell it. So when Sarah sells a rug, obviously they have a markup, which makes sense, but that markup is it's a fair markup. So the ladies, they get a percentage, and the co-op gets a percentage. And we've seen thousands and thousands of rugs, and each one is different than the next, and each one is more beautiful. It's just incredible, incredible. So, and that's the benefit of having somebody with you. It makes a huge difference. A local guide, a tour leader, us versus just doing it on your own. Yeah, you can save money by planning your own tour, but there's a lot of things that can cost you twice as much as your own tour, three times as much as the tour. It's so much easier to get scammed in Morocco. We don't want to scare people. Morocco is a beautiful, beautiful country to visit. And also we had, episode number 4 about scams. Then we just did one, dangerous scams in Morocco. Then we have another one coming up probably next couple of months. We will release it. It talks about scams as well. So there's so many different scams, especially when it comes to rugs. Just like Sam said, you cannot tell the difference between a real fabric or a fake fabric or a dye or stuff like that. So it's always good to be safe than be sorry. Thank you.
And that also the shipping, for example, for the rugs, when it comes, for example, the women co-op in it is 100% guaranteed. So if they say you will receive your item in 10 days, you will receive it in 10 days. It's guaranteed. So they do shipping worldwide. So you don't have to worry about your purchase. For example, it will arrive on time and safe.
100%, yeah, absolutely. So, to add another layer to our discussion, we'll go further to discuss the third question, which is about the typical prices for Moroccan argan oil. What are the typical prices for argan oil as a dean, if you want,
The
please?
typical prices, they really, really vary from from one neighborhood to the next neighborhood. It's really not regulated, but the best way to buy an argan oil is 100% through the women's co-op. And we did an episode as well on a podcast. It's not published yet. In Essaouira with argan oil, we posted a few, did some social media posts about argan oil. And it's really, really important to get it through the co-op versus getting them on the street or a vendor or even a market. Um, Normally, in Morocco, they sell by half a liter, a quarter of a liter, and a liter. So when you buy something, argan oil, a liter of argan oil, you should expect to pay around 200 to $250. This is in Morocco. If you were to buy the same thing in the US, it's going to be over 1,000 probably dollars. So that's the benefit of it. That now, when it comes to scams, again, this is one of the widest items that are being scammed, and because of the smell, argan oil has a distinctive smell, and if you have never smelled it before, you're not going to know if it's real or not. Even if you have smelled it in the past, they can still we still get scammed. So argan oil, even us the locals, we don't go and buy it. If we don't know somebody, we're not gonna buy it. You have to know somebody to get the real thing. The same thing when it comes to Moroccan honey and also olive oil. So and that's it's really really tricky. They mix it with other stuff and they put maybe a little bit of argan oil. The rest of it is just a different oil that doesn't have any smell, so it doesn't take over the argan smell. They do some, the scams are really. I don't want to talk about them because some of them are disgusting.
Diverse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry, but I'm
yeah,
gonna let Sam add something to
yeah,
to
yeah,
But it's the
this
truth,
issue.
sure,
unfortunately.
yeah,
Yeah.
sure,
Okay, let's hear what Sam will say.
sure. See, when it comes to argan oil, they scammed me. They scammed me a few years ago. I buy like a half liter of argan oil. Then when I come home, I find it like mixed with some oil, and it's just, as I still said, it's disgusting. Just I drop it,
Oh my God.
okay, in the trash. Then I let it go, and I buy it very expensive. But I didn't know. I buy it somewhere in between Isawira and Agadir. I stopped there. I think that's I am helping the locals, but unfortunately they didn't help me. Okay, so so when
Oh
it
my God.
comes yeah, when it comes to argan oil, it's very hard to, 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 to distinguish between the mixed one and the real one, especially the organic one.
Yeah,
As Hiba mentioned in the beginning, there is like two types: one for cosmetic and one for culinary. For
Yeah.
cooking, the one for culinary is smelled very. The smell is strong, and the one for cosmetic, the smell is just not as the culinary one.
Okay.
yeah,
So what I suggest, just to avoid scams, is to buy it from the co-ops, women co-ops. And already we have a podcast episode with the one in Isawira, the Nomad,
yes,
the Nomad co-op. So they sold very good quality, and it's certified. So you can take it to any laboratory, for example, in the world, and it's 100% organic and pure.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm. Just to add something on what you said, if you allow me, guys. Um, well, prices can vary depending on factors. For example, such as the purity, the production method, the packaging, and high quality of argan is typically gonna, priced higher due to the labor intensive process of extracting the oil
yes,
from the argan tree and to continue the process, you know. So that's why, just to give our listeners and travelers the process, how it's gonna be. So yeah, um, following and moving on to the fourth
mm,
question. If you could please um, tell us about what are some of the bargaining strategies that are effective when shopping in Morocco, guys. And I'm gonna start
Okay.
with Azedine again, please.
okay. Thank you, Hiba. This is a really good question.
Yeah.
It depends if you live in Morocco versus if you live outside Morocco. So when I lived in Morocco, normally we right off the bat we take out 60%. If he tells you $100, you say 60. But the thing that you have to understand as a shopper, this is a game. It's given, it's pulled back and forth and back and forth. Um, if you just agree to the price and pay $100, the clerk will look at you like, you're not gonna shop. I mean, you're not gonna bargain. So, but that's the fun of it. It's an experience. So they always wanted to make it an experience, and you do the same thing. So now when I go somewhere, obviously I always have to have somebody with me. I say I start at 85%. I'll say $15, and they just look at me like, "Are you crazy?" So, but always be prepared to walk away, because they're gonna call you back. They're gonna say, "Hey, well, just come back. Let's do this," and back and forth. If you have to walk away twice, 3 times, just do it, and compare products. One shop will have it at $100, somebody else will have it at 80, somebody else will have it at 70. So it's completely up to you. Just do a little bit of window shopping and know exactly what you're looking for, what you want exactly, and then go for it. So that's the way that I would do it. That's the strategy, because they see that I'm a tourist. Obviously, they're gonna bump that price a little bit more than if I were a local, and that's the way that I would do it. So instead of just right off the bat taking off 60%, I'll take 85% and be willing to negotiate. They can always come down, and you can always come up a little bit. And if you pay 60% off, it's still it's a good rate. So that's how I would do
Sure.
it.
Yeah, sure.
So
Okay,
Sam, what's your
Sam.
strategy?
Yeah, yeah. My strategy, by the way, I hate bargaining. but I have to do it many times when I want to buy some stuff. I don't like to negotiate, because when someone say the price, I say, okay, maybe. But you have to. In Morocco, we have this culture, and for example, I can say like 80% of the shops or the vendors, they don't get mad with you, for example, if you negotiate. So you have the right to negotiate. It's
Yeah.
something which is very normal. As Astin said, 60%, but you can still, for example, if it's a good quality product, you can, for example, give like minus like 25 to 40%. So you can get it with that price. For example, when you come to the shop, for example, the first question they will ask you, for example, when you bargain with him or when you negotiate the price, and you said, for example, 80% off. You say, do you think that they will like steal your money, or for
Yeah.
example, I will, yeah, they will automatically, and you to feel you like guilty, asking him to give you that discount, or for example, bargaining in for example, more than a half price. But don't be shame. Don't be. You have. Well, for example, when you say that price, I say, okay. Else, you just go, and for
Yeah.
example, come back again. Give him the same price, or for example, you can just, if you say, for example, 70, you can just give him 60. Then you get the item with the best price in the market. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you,
And
Sam, for
and
informing the situation.
and they want to add, I suggest for our travelers, for example, we have our local guides all over Morocco in all the cities. So I highly recommend to have a local guide with you, because he knows the shops, he knows everything. And for example, you can ask us, send us an email. I want, for example, to do some shopping in Marrakesh or in Fez or in Chefchaouen or Ouarzazate, for example. And we will make sure that our local guides will take care of this and will help you to negotiate and to bargain the prices, and you get the best price.
Hmm.
Can I
Yeah.
add something to what Sam just said? The last part that you said, that's very problematic. And we've been through this before. When we have somebody and they don't share with us they're buying stuff, we always get a text or a call months after they left Morocco. Hey, I haven't received my rugs, or I haven't received this or that. So it is extremely crucial for you to let us know if you're buying something, so we can facilitate it for you in many different ways. It's beneficial for you. First, you'll get the best price. Second, we'll make sure that everything that you bought would be delivered to you in a matter of, if it's 2 weeks, then it's a 2 weeks delivery. If it's a 2 months or 3 months, because sometimes the item has to be built from scratch or being done from scratch, so that's why it takes a little bit of time. And those are some of the issues that we've had in the past. Months go by, we get a call, and then we have to investigate. And sometimes the shop, they promise the client they're gonna send it, they're gonna ship it, and they never ship it. And when we ask them, they say, hey, then the client never paid for shipping, even though the client did. So
Yes, that's
it's
the
really,
problem.
really
Yes,
tricky.
yes,
You have to be
yes,
very careful when it comes to shopping. And we're talking, it could be a few $100, it could be a few $1,000. It doesn't have to be something major, big, but still, it's better for us to know, in terms of communication, in terms of interfering, in terms of making sure no one is taking advantage of you. It's really, really, really crucial. Very good point, Sam. Thank you.
Mm.
Hiba, now we need to
Yeah.
hear about you, your
Of
experience.
course. Okay, I'm gonna tell you about something that I personally use when shopping, and I highly recommend visitors to do, or travelers. You can, for example, before buy an item from a vendor, you can, for example, go around, because prices might be they are not the same. I mean, it might be changed from a vendor to another, like that. There is an opportunity for you even before you bargain with him or with her. So that's what I want to. That's what I want to add. Plus, you can, for example, research beforehand about the typical prices, as we are talking about right now. For the most known souvenirs in Morocco, for example, in terms of leaders, in terms of rags, in terms of ceramics, so on and so forth. Yeah. So
yeah. I want to add something, if you allow, guys. For example, when you go to a shop, let's see, for example, ceramic in Fez, they will show you some items with the fixed price. You go to the next shop, for example, for rugs, they showed you this rug is fixed price. There is no fixed price, guys, when it comes to shopping in Morocco. So when it shows, for example, in the item, it shows like it's written, for example, like let's say for a rug, for example, $3,000. There is no fixed price. You can still bargain for this $3,000 and take it for 2,000 or something like that. For example, when you go, they still have like the benefit margin. For example, if you go with a local guy, they still have like a small amount of his commission, maybe 10% or 12% of what you buy, but there is no fixed price. Make sure this is, because the first thing when you come to the guy or the vendor on the shop, you said, oh no, we have fixed price. You can buy anything you want because we have only a fixed price. There is no fixed price. You can say, I want this, but it's not this price. I want to buy it like for $1,500 instead of 3,000. But yeah, if you find it a good quality, or of course with the help of our local guide or your local guide.
Yeah, so don't feel ashamed, for example, to do so. It's totally fine. Well, our fifth question is a bit related to this. What are some common scams to watch out for when buying goods in Morocco, for example, as a team?
Oh my goodness. Again, we did talk a little bit about these scams on episode 4, but I'm gonna talk about the credit card scam first. Let's say I go to a shop and they say, for example, $3,000. So negotiate, they finally agree to $1,500. So I'm gonna pay $1,500. I hand my credit card, and he'll probably charge it twice. So when you hand somebody a credit card, make sure you're watching them at all times. Now, the other thing that I would warn you about is the currency exchange. Let's say somebody will say, you say, how much is this rug? It's 3,000. You negotiate. At the end, you agree to 1,500. And but the currency never mentioned if it's in euro, USD, or Moroccan currency. So he might be talking. You may be thinking it's Moroccan currency, but he's talking USD, Canadian dollar, or this or that. So you have to be very, very careful. So, and also make sure you know the currency exchange between Moroccan currency and a foreigner currency, USD. We'll talk about USD always in this case. So make sure that you know the exchange. If $1,500 USD will translate, for example, to 1,700 17,000 Moroccan dirhams, that's what it should be, versus 170,000. So you just have to be very, very careful when it comes to that. Those scams are very popular. And make sure, again, if something is going to be shipped to you, make sure the shipping address is very correct. And we talked about this earlier. There's a lot of people, they ship it to somewhere else or a fake address and hoping that it'll come back to them, and it will. So they got their product back. You never did. You paid for it, and now if you want it, then you gotta pay extra or something. So you just have to be very, very careful. Shopping, there's a lot of scam opportunities, and there's so many different ways to protect yourself. Also, one of the common scams is you go to an ATM machine, and then you'll find somebody standing there. They have their badge, and they'll approach you and say, hey, sir, ma'am, I'm authorized local guides or a tour leader, whatever that might be. And they said that, we are dispatched by the city and we're here just to help you for free. So, oh, that's really nice. Yeah, we want to go and see Majorel Garden, for example. Oh, follow me. Then he'll stay with you for the rest of the day. And at the end, they expect to get paid. So there's so many scams. If we talk about Marrakesh, the square is the hub. There's the monkey scams, there's the snake scams, there's the taxi. The taxi not as much now, especially being picked up from the airport. There's a kiosk that you go to, and the prices you pay a third party versus you paying the taxi directly. So there's the henna scam. So there's so many, but these are just some of um, what we have talked about many times. And also, I wanted to see what what Sam can add to the list because it's pretty big.
Yeah, I think the scams. If you want to talk about the scams, there's hundreds and hundreds of them. So we can't talk on this live about the scams because, as I said, we have 3 episodes and they still come in, and we will prepare others because we didn't even cover all of them. So when it comes to shopping, for example, I said to scams, for example, is about the vintage rugs. So be careful of this word, vintage rugs. You have to be very careful. For example, when you buy rug, for example, make sure, or you buy argan, or you buy, make sure, for example, when they say, for example, make sure when they say shipping is included, make sure when you bargain the price or you negotiate the price, make sure that the shipping is included. Else they will charge you twice. They will charge you for the price of the rug, and then they will say, "Oh no, it's not included because you bargain and you just you negotiate the price. So the price you get now is not including the shipping." And make sure, for example, when they ship, you give them the correct address and have their information, especially when you buy from a co-op or from a shop. All the shops they have like business cards, they have like numbers on the top of the gate, for example, or the door. So you can have all these informations, for example, in case you have a problem. For example, there is another scam which is common. For example, when you go to a shop and they say that how is this? For example, as Tim talked about the currencies from US dollars, for example, to Moroccan dirhams. They said, okay, I don't know how to read or to write, so they just bring a pen and the paper and just starting writing to you some stuff like this. I don't know what's for, but it's a kind of scams. For example, they
Mm.
said, okay, this is in Moroccan dirhams, this is in dollars, and they calculate. They just want to trick you to make you confused, and then you paid whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm. What I want, in fact, to advise travelers is before even going to Morocco or to whatever, to do their research, to learn about the the most common scams in that specific place, like that. It's not, I mean, like that easily you won't get taken to advantage. So thank you so much, and I hope
Sure.
that answer our travelers question. So
Yeah.
now let's turn our attention to the sixth question, which is about how can you tell if the spices sold in Morocco markets are of high quality and not expired.
Mm.
And I'm going with you, Sam, please.
Okay. So when it comes to spices, I can say, for example, you can buy it in the southern part of Morocco. You can buy it in Marrakesh. Also, when you travel, for example, to the north, you can buy it in Chefchaouen as well. But make sure, for example, when you go to the shop selling spices, which called between bracket the Berber pharmacy. This is one of the scams, by the way. When you heard this word Berber pharmacy, it's one of the scams. So be careful.
That's right.
So make sure when you go with your local guide, for example, for our local guide, make sure that they grinding it in front of you. If you want really to have good quality of spices,
Mm-hmm.
it's very normal. So you have the right to ask him. I don't want to buy this one, for example, which is already what is called in the what they have in their shop. They sell it just for you. For example, they said you can smell. For example, it's a real comment. For example, it's real pepper. For example, I said no. Please, I want just to grind it in front of me like that. You can take it, and if you grind it in front of you, make sure it is the best quality you will buy ever.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I just want to ask you, Sam, please. Is the smell not enough to distinguish if that, for example, that spice is in a good quality and not expired?
No, the smell is not enough. For example, when it comes to why I said they have to grind it for you. For example, when you have the one they sold, for example, in the packet in the small packs, for example, maybe they can change the date. It's easy.
Yeah.
So just when they grind it in front of you, make sure this is they take it from the original and they mix it for you. For example, we can talk about cumin. For example, it's there is a Moroccan one which is the best quality. It's called Bildi, and we
Yes.
have another one that is from India. But the one with Moroccan one is very strong in the smells and it's very healthy. And the one comes from India is just a common one. We can buy it in supermarket in Walmart or somewhere in the world,
Yeah.
or where. So it's easy. You can buy it. But this quality you can't find it. For example, with the help of your local guide, of course, you will get the best quality.
Mhm. Thank you for your valuable insights. Really appreciate.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the next question is about what
I
is the
need to
best
add
way
something,
to.
please. You skipped me.
Okay,
No, no,
sorry.
I'm messing with you, Eva. No, the spices, I totally agree with Sam because when you're at the shop, whether you're the souk or at the market, that's one of the things that you notice, especially in old Medinas, fast markets, especially, is the vibrant colors, the different colors, the smell, and when you stand at a shop, your nose are really disturbed, and they cannot distinguish between one spice versus the other. They smell the combination of all of them. So
Mhm.
when you see a spice, you can see them. They're racked up high, and intricate designs and everything. But then the issue with those spices that are on display, if they are not moved at some time, they start to form like a web, like a spider web, or you may call mold. So they're not really good for consumption. So that's the reason why, as locals or most of us, when we buy spices, we do not buy them already grinded. We buy them, in a whole, like the cumin in its form, cinnamon woods, all that kind of stuff. Paprika, the same thing. If it's already, grinded, then it loses its density. It loses its flavor with
Quality.
time.
Yeah.
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 So even for us, when we go to Morocco, we always buy spices.
Mhm.
And when we buy them, they're not grinded. And we do the same thing. Again, it's really unfortunate in a way, but to get the really good quality of spices, again, you have to know somebody in the market. All the shops, they look the same, but if you don't know somebody, they can tell you, hey, we grinded it and this is it, but they'll switch you at the end. So they'll give you something that they did not grind, but the one that they presented to you to smell is very rich, very good. But then the one that you take home with you is totally different quality. So
Yes. Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
when we buy spices from Morocco, we bring them to the US, and a lot of them, they stay good for a couple of years until we run out of them. Then we, just like Sam said, we either go to a Pakistani store, an Indian store, or Walmart, Costco, Sam's Club, and we get them. But that's the best way to get spices in Morocco. Yeah.
Yes. And I want to have, for example, one of the others comes there when it comes to spices. The first thing he said that this is a Berber spice. There is no Berber spice. There is no Berber spices in the market. The Berbers are very far away from selling this any spices. Okay, we are all Berbers. We don't have no idea. We didn't even cultivate this kind of spices. So we are far away from this scum. So they sell they scam people with the name of the Berbers. So
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
it's unfair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Unbelievable. Really appreciate your insights, guys. So
No problem.
move on to the next question. Uh, what is the best way to purchase Moroccan poetry and ceramics to ensure that they are authentic and not mass produced, in your opinion, guys? Sam.
Okay, thank you very much. So the best place to buy ceramics is in Fez. I will let Astin emphasize
Yes.
on this. And what I want just to say here is that there is a common scam when it comes to pottery, when it comes to ceramic. For example, there is two places in Morocco. There is Safi and there is Fez. So you have to be careful to choose the best quality. Especially the best one is the Fezi ceramic or ceramic of Fez versus the one of in Safi. And in some shops, they say it's originally from Fez. For example, when you want to buy it in Marrakesh, they brought it from Safi and they sell it as the ones and the one in Fez with the same price of the quality of the one in Fez. So this is one of the scams, and you have to be careful. Also, as I mentioned, there is always fixed price in all the items you want to buy. Ceramic items, yeah, you have always to negotiate. You have always to bargain the price, and you will get the best quality. So I let still emphasize invest because we have a special episode with the ceramic of Fez. So go ahead,
Yes.
still.
Right.
Yes, I remember our visit
Yeah.
to the co-op in summertime. It was incredible. What an eye-opening experience for me, and I'm sure it was for all of us who were
Yes,
there
sure,
that day.
sure. Yeah.
I was blown away. This is the most common thing. Everything you see in Morocco is made out of, when it comes to ceramic, is made out of red clay. Red clay, especially when making tagines, which is very popular in Morocco, some of it or most of it has lead, which is not healthy. So, and that's anywhere you go, you will find most of the tagines have lead, which is kind of unhealthy to cook in those tagines. So in fact, they have a special clay that they made those tagines with, and it is lead free and it is a little bit more expensive. So the origin of ceramic and the hub of ceramic and the headquarters is Fas. It is beyond incredible. We've seen during our visit that a lot of people, you know, they were there, generations and generations. It takes a lot of years to master those skills. So uh, Fast is the way to go. And also, I remember uh, one time we had some clients. They bought some stuff from that same spot that we have sent them. They were at a restaurant, so the waitress came and she has no business saying this to them, and she was like, "Hey, that's fake clay, fake ceramic." And then
Yeah,
she
I
was,
remember. Yeah.
yeah, she was very nervous, and she texted us in the group and was like, "Hey, this is so forth." I was taken advantage of, and I said, "Look, let me tell you that the tagine, there's two types. There's one for decoration, which means that you can cook anything you want, and at the
Yeah.
end, when it's cooked, you can use it as a serving tagine. And this one, when you lift the top of it and you look by your hands, you're not gonna see a hole. It's gonna be completely closed. So that's a tagine just for presentation. Then the one that it's for cooking, and you can put it in the oven or anywhere, and it's not gonna crack. It's not gonna go bad. Is the one that has a small opening for the tagine to breathe. It's like a
Yeah.
natural or organic pressure
Yeah.
cooker, basically. And then she did that, and she was like, "Well, yeah, mine has an opening." And I said, "Then it's not fake. It's the real
Yeah.
ceramic."
I
So
remember.
you will
Yeah,
not,
it
yeah,
was Sarah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So they felt nice, but also this is the type of things that people will tell you just to play with your mind. They have no business in even talking to you about whatever you purchase. And this is again, it's not at the shop. It was not on the street, but it was a restaurant that they were having a meal. And so, the waitress
Yeah.
for all
Yeah.
the people. So you really have to be careful. So now the origin of, like we said, is fast, but then a lot of those people from fast, some of them moved to Asfi or Safi, which is a small coastal city, really nice city, and also known for its sardine, just like Essaouira. So they moved and they started doing the same thing as in Fas. The quality is good, but I always go back to Fas as the origin if I want to get something. If somebody tell you this product is from Fas, most likely it's not from Fas, and most likely
Yes.
it is fake.
Yes.
And you can see, even the quality, it's very visible. You're not gonna miss it. It's poorly built, poorly done, poorly. The fit and finish, the attention to details is not the same. So we went to Fas. I think we spent a lot of time, more than we planned during that tour. But I forgot the gentleman's name. He stood on top of those tagines and
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
break them, and he stomped on them
yeah.
so many times. They did not break, and they are
It's
really,
Yusuf.
really
Yusuf.
worth. Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yusuf.
So
Yes, Yusuf. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it was a great
yeah.
presentation. We got a lot of memories,
Of
and we
course.
bought
Yeah,
some stuff. Yeah, and
yeah.
you buy it and it lasts you a lifetime, and you don't have to worry about anything else. So
Sure.
it was an amazing
Yeah,
experience.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. They
Yeah,
have
I
very
thank
good
you.
really
quality.
agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I personally don't know how to distinguish between the authentic one and
We are your local guides.
yeah. Honestly, but your insights are really helpful, guys. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So,
Absolutely.
okay, we have another question, which is, are there specific shops or markets in Morocco known for high quality traditional clothing, such as jilabas and kaftans, and what are the price ranges? And I'm gonna start with you, Azadi.
Okay. This is a really
Okay.
it's a complex question. It's a really, really good question, and it varies. So the best places I would
Mhm.
say are the medinas of the cities. For example, Marrakesh. I always go to Fas. Fas is just it's mind blowing when it comes to this. When it comes to holding on to the tradition, to the Moroccan tradition, to the Moroccan culture in so many different ways. Other cities are good too, but Fas is it's very extinguished. It's just very different. So Chefchaouen, like we talked about, it represents the Rifi culture, the Rifi people. It's just amazing when it comes to clothing. Their clothes are different, especially the traditional ones. And you move from region to region, the clothing changes. Even from my village to your village, Hiba and Sam's village, there we are all Berbers. We are different Berbers. So our clothing, you can see somebody wearing a certain cloth, and you can say, hey, this person is from this region versus this region.
Yes,
Even the
yes,
stuff
yes.
that they put on their head, and even for example, at a celebration, at a wedding or anything, the way that they dress, the way that they have the jewelries, for the men and for the women. For the men, it's normally like you know the traditional whatever the knife or the thing that they put in their head. And then it's those are the spots that I would say, just going to the old Medinas. And then when it comes to Kaftan is internationally known, but not as much known as in the US as other places in the world. And it's beautiful. It has developed, it has evolved in the last few decades so much. And now they do have kaftan fashion in Europe, sometimes in the US, I know New York and DC, and in Dubai as well. So it is very popular. It's very distinguished fashion, Moroccan fashion, really, really nice. A lot of people, even a lot of celebrities in the US, they have worn the Moroccan kaftan, which is really good. In terms of price, it just depends. It can be in a few $100 to a few $1,000s. Just
Yeah.
depends what you're trying to get. So the price, it's kind of really difficult to pinpoint, but yes,
That's amazing. Mm.
thank you.
Sure.
Sam, go ahead.
Yeah. So talking about, for example, I can talk about kaftan first. And as I still mentioned, the old Medinas, especially Fez
Yeah.
and Rabat. Rabat, they have one of the best qualities of kaftans in Morocco,
Mhm.
beside Fez and Marrakesh. Marrakesh, especially the old Medina, there is some special, very special and unique shops that is selling the kaftans. And the price vary depends on the qualities. So as I did say, for example, I saw a kaftan with $12,000, by the way.
Oh wow.
So it's the material, it's the design, for example, the material they use, for example. It depends if someone Tyler, the modelist and stuff, if it's famous, it's not, for example. and the motifs they put, for example, the design they put on the kaftan. It's by the way, I love it. I love the Moroccan kaftan. It's something very special to the country, and I love it so much. So talking about, for example, jilaba. If you want, for example, the white jilaba with the hat and stuff, it's Fez. It's always we come back to Fez. You remember last time when we were in Sfarin? In Sfarin
Yes,
Fez, we
yes,
saw
I
just
remember.
a special shops. There is like a small mall inside the Medina, especially for jilabas and
Yeah.
kaftans and the jabadar. I don't know what it's called in English, but jabadar is like a unique dress
Okay.
for men. Yeah.
Yes. The Jabador, my apologies, Sam, just want to give a little bit explanation. Jabador, it's not really originally Moroccan, but it looks more of a Pakistani dress and an Indian dress than Moroccan. It has that Moroccan flair to it. So, which is really,
Yes.
really nice. I have one. They're really comfortable. They're really good. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's yeah,
Yeah.
that's basically yes. Mhm.
Yeah,
Thank you.
so also when it comes to jilabas, for example, the other kind of jilabas, especially for winter, I remember last time Ted said the best
Yeah.
jilaba I bought in Morocco. It's in Chefchaouen and in the Middle Atlas Mountains in a village called Bzo. Bzo.
So,
It's
yeah.
between Bni Mellal and Khnifra in the Middle Atlas Mountains. This is the best place to get this kind of heavy jilabas
Yeah.
for winter. So besides jewelries, we will talk about them in the other questions later.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's true. And this gonna be our last question. And if you allow me, Sam, to ask you, what precautions should you take when buying jewelry in Morocco to avoid purchasing fake or overpriced items, in your opinion, please?
Oh, by the way, it's very hard. For example, when it comes to jewelries in Morocco, to say it's good quality or not quality, but what just to make sure. For example, when we talk about silver, the best place to buy it, for example, is Essaouira, Tiznit, and Tinghir in Morocco because they have like shops, tens and hundreds of shops just selling especially only silver. If you want to go, for example, gold, it's I said, for example, there is a special places in Morocco, but to make sure you get the best quality, you have, for example, for silver, you have to ask the vendor in the shop to test it in front of you to make the silver nitrate gel in front of you to make sure that it's not fake, because
Yeah.
we have like Indian quality, we have another one from Pakistan, and we have another quality, I think from Sudan or something like that, from an African country. I don't remember exactly what's the name of the country.
Yeah.
But to make sure you buy the best quality Moroccan quality, you have to ask this guy, for example, I want to make a test, and you
Yeah.
have the right. Just put a little bit of silver nitrate in front of you, and you will see if the color changes or if it keeps the same color. Then if it keeps the same color, then it's the original and it's the good quality. Same thing for the gold, because for example they have a gold and they just wash it with some other kind of nitrate of the gold. So you have to be careful because you will buy it for a real one and it's fake. And
Yeah.
make sure and be careful. For example, when the people selling in the streets, especially in the old Medinas, and they sell like necklaces or bracelets, for example, of silver with the best quality, and they are all fake. So make sure, and always I recommend to ask your tour leader, your local guide, if you want to buy these items, for example, especially when it comes to jewelries, silver and gold.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Sam. So, Azadine, anything to add, please?
Yes, when it comes to jewelry, it really varies. There's the Berber jewelry, there's the regular jewelry, and also in Marrakesh, there's many places that you can go to. Jamal Fna, Souq al Behja, in Essaouira, Al
Yes.
Millah. Al
Yeah.
Millah in all the major cities, which is the Jewish quarter, that's one of the best places to buy gold and find gold. And the gold in Morocco is different than the US. In the US, they have 10 carats, they have 14 carats. In Morocco, we have 18 and 22, I believe. Those are the most popular, so it's a
Yes,
little bit
that's
more
right.
pure. And then when you
Yeah.
go to Fas, it's in the safari. And also, in our last visit, we did the Jewish quarter, and we stopped at a few places. It's just beyond incredible. Again, during the whole live Q&A, we mentioned Fas so many times because Fas is just, it's really ground zero in Morocco. It's definitely a must see if you're traveling to Morocco, whether with us or just by yourself
Yes.
or with somebody else. It's, you want to see Morocco, see Fas. If it's especially if first time traveling to Morocco, it's just beyond incredible. Then, like Sam mentioned Tiznit, which is the Berber jewelry. Then Tinghir, which is where Sam is from. In the old days, the way that we used to know between a fake one and not a fake one, all the silver used to have a stamp, and it's an distinguished stamp. Then when you see it in the back of whatever that is, if it's a ring, if it's a bracelet, if it's anything, that stamp will tell you that that silver is real. Now, um, one of the ways to tell if it's a real silver or not, you have a blank piece of white paper, then you run the piece of silver through it, and if it leaves a black mark, then it's a real silver. Now that cannot be done because they found different methods for fake silver to make that black line as well. So the best way, just like Sam said, is basically the nitrate gel, and that's the best way to expose if the silver is good or not. So those are the recommendations for jewelry. So old Medinas, old downtown Jewish quarters, that those are the best places to find your gold. And yes, so yeah, this has been really good.
Yeah.
A lot of good
That's right.
information.
That's right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys, for your valuable insights. I really appreciate.
You're
And
very welcome.
we hope that we answered the maximum of our travelers' questions because 1 hour it's not enough to answer the majority of the
Yes, yeah,
questions.
sure.
Yeah. So thank you as well
Okay.
for our audience to be for being attentive, of course, and see you in the next live. And thank you as well again.
You're very welcome.
I
Thank you so
appreciate.
much. This
Thank you
has
very
been a lot
much.
of fun. I really
Thank you very
appreciate you,
much.
Hiba. Sam, as always,
Very
you're
welcome.
incredible. And see you next month. Next, like,
Yes.
I don't know what the topic will be, but we'll figure something out. We did episode 16. I did it with Imran, and those are the questions that we have received from travel agents. We did a webinar,
Yes.
and we tried to answer some of the questions. And you're right, Hiba. There's a lot of questions that we obviously cannot answer in one session,
Yeah.
but just keep them coming. We're here for you, and we're very grateful for you, the listeners, the people that booked with us, and everybody else. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I want to add something very important. We are there is something coming, something new coming with Destination Morocco. We are organizing a fun trip very soon, and the spots are very limited. So stay tuned on our social media, on our website, and on all our channels. So stay tuned because there is something very new and very interesting coming. Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you, Sam.
very much.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you so much. Bye bye.
Appreciate it.